on Twitch. But hello, it's been forever. It's been a really long time since I've done the podcast, but I'm bringing it back, and we're switching up the style a little bit to talking to interesting people in Japan. And I don't know really anyone more interesting than today's guest. Please introduce yourself, name, what do you do?
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Imani J. I am originally from New York, a small county in New York, Rockland County, and I've been living in Japan for about 13 years now.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm a singer-songwriter in Japan.
Okay,
Yeah,
so the whole
that's what I do.
concept of this style of podcast is going to be, how did you get here? You know, like, how did you?
How did I get here? I have no idea.
Yeah, so, okay, so first of all, why Japan? Yeah, let's get into it. I want to know, first of all, why Japan? What is your history with Japan pre-Japan?
Pre-Japan, I guess as any weeb would say, it was anime, but it's not the end all be all,
Right.
because I was into like a few anime, but I was more into the theme songs. Actually, I was actually more into the music.
J-pop, J-rock.
I was into the J-pop, J-rock. But Asian Kung Fu Generation, Uberworld, all of them. So yeah, that's how I started. But basically, I was really into it, and then there's a program called People to People Student Ambassadors, and I was chosen to like participate in one where they were going to Japan, and I was like, oh my god, Mom, we're going to Japan. So we did 2 weeks in Japan. We started off in Tokyo, and then we went to Shizuoka. We climbed like an hour of Mount Fuji, and then went back down.
We're not doing the full thing.
Yeah, no. And then we just did a 3-day homestay in Nagoya, and then we went to like Nara, and we went to Osaka, and I just thought, oh man, this is so cool. It wasn't enough. Yeah, I was like, I have to come back.
Yeah.
So that was like junior year of high school. Yeah, it was like junior year, and I had heard about Temple University, Japan campus. There's the main campus is in Philadelphia, but they have a branch campus in Tokyo. And I was like, cool, I want to go there. But my mom was like, you got a scholarship here, so you're doing 2 years here. So I was like, all right. I did 2 years at RCC, Rockland Community College, and then I transferred to Temple University. And its campus at the time was in Azabu.
So Temple University is how you got here.
Temple University is how I started. I actually studied mass communication. Because I thought I was gonna do like producing and making commercials or short films and things like that. So I was like, all right, college, so I'll study mass communications at Temple, yay! And then at the time, my friends and I, we had like a blog. It was like about Asian pop entertainment. So we were writing like just like little blogs and stuff about like artists that we liked. We did some interviews. And there was one con.
So this is Natsukashi.
This is very Natsukashi for me right now. Very nostalgic for me. And oh god, it was Otakon 2010. And we did this interview with the band that was performing at the time, or the group, which was Homemade Kazoku. If anybody remembers, they had a Bleach ending. And I think they also had a Naruto ending. They have a few like anime songs.
Yeah.
And I did an interview with them, and this was my first summer back at home. It was my first summer back in the States.
Okay.
After starting Temple. And so
so you haven't had like a consecutive stay in Japan. You went back.
I went back for summer vacation.
Okay.
I went back for summer vacation. And so during that summer vacation, I went to Otakon, and I did an interview with them. And, from there, they were like, my question to them was, this is your first big show, like, in America. Do you have anything big happening in Japan? They were like, yeah, we're going to do our first festival. It's going to be awesome, but
Nice.
It sucks because y'all won't be able to go see it. And I was like, I live in Japan. And they were like,
actually.
oh, you should come. And so, like, I went to the festival and it was nothing but love, honestly. Like, you know, went and I saw, you know, they were like, press it's here, but you can come backstage with us. And I was like, what?
Right?
And from then, it was just like me going to a lot of their shows and then really being into just like this whole thing. Because from there, my aunt's like ex-boyfriend or something like that was living in Japan, and he was a musician. And he saw me, and we had met up, and then he was like, you know, you're young, you know, do you sing? And I was like, I used to sing. And he was like,
carry a tune.
I can carry a tune. And then he was like, you know, like, you should try out for some things, you know, because they always need black people for stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That rich voice. Don't ever discount your blackness. It'll get you there.
So even, you know, sometimes they do need blackness for, you know, they need the gospel singer, they need the jazz singer.
They want a song from Sister Act.
And it's weird because they do want you to sing Sister Act for the weddings. It's the most bizarre thing. And so, you know, they needed a black singer to sing for weddings. So I started doing that. And then when I told Home Kazuku that I was singing more, they were like, oh, that's awesome. And I kept going to their shows, and they were introducing me to different producers. And that's how I kind of got started with like working with Japanese artists.
So you singing wasn't your aim out here. You kind of like...
No, it wasn't. It just kind of happened. I mean, ultimately, entertainment was the thing. I just thought I was going to be more behind the scenes and not necessarily on stage. Which, I mean, I still kind of do a little bit of both, so...
Which do you prefer? Being on stage or behind the scenes?
It depends.
And why?
It depends. Because, being on stage is exhausting. It's fun though, but it's a lot. It takes a lot
of energy while you're doing it.
It takes a lot out of you. Like when you get off that stage and then like you sit down and you're like, whew. It's a lot physically. Not to say that being behind the scenes isn't, but it's just like less pressure to show up in a certain way. And to perform, like you kind of always have to have like that stage persona or like be in the moment of whatever it is that's happening in front of people. And but I like both because it's fun when I'm doing maybe like music production for other people, because I'll write songs that I'm like, I would never sing this, but it sounds good when you sing it. It sounds great. It makes more sense coming from you. You killed it. Like it makes more sense coming from you than it would from me. That part is fun to like see someone else kind of work with what you've given them, and then
bring your creation to life. Yeah. Why did you end up staying? Like you didn't have to stay after university or anything. So how did I'm gonna do it little university turn into 13 years? Yeah.
Ooh, Chile.
And you know, the first time I read it online, I was like, why are they saying Chile? That was actually what I thought. I'm like, what? Why?
Oh, child. Okay. Well, actually, funny thing, my last semester, there was this huge earthquake. You might have heard about it. Tohoku earthquake. And so I was in Tokyo, clearly, but my mom thought all of Japan was going to explode. So she was like, hurry, get back home. So I went home, but I felt like my journey in Japan didn't finish on my own accord. Like I wasn't the one to close that chapter. And so I was in the States kind of miserable with the situation. I was like on the main campus, but I never had been to the main campus. And it was just weird. The whole thing was weird. And so I begged my mom to come back to Japan. I was like, Mom, like, you know, I still had like an apartment here, like half of my stuff was still here, just kind of like up and left. And I felt like, you know, I wanted to be responsible because, you know, there's always the complaints from people like, oh, foreigners just leave, and I didn't want to be that foreigner. I at least wanted to like come back and try and like at least, you know, finish on
your lease.
Finish on my lease, or just, you know, like have my own finale of my Japan journey. And basically I came back. I didn't know the language because at Temple everything is taught in English. Everything's taught in English, so no immersion whatsoever, because even all the Japanese kids speak English. And yeah, I had no didn't know Japanese. I didn't have a job. I didn't have money. I just graduated. The exchange rate was like really crappy then. The dollar was so weak.
Oh, the opposite of it.
The opposite,
now.
yeah. It's like ridiculous. And, you know, I just kind of stuck it out. And that's when the whole, you know, doing more music happened for me. Give me one moment. My child is begging to get out.
The question is, singing's not the only thing you do. Like,
No.
She's multi-talented. She's acting, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So I want share your experiences. What have you done? Because you've done what is it, Roppongi Heights, and you've done commercials. So like,
yeah.
how did that happen?
Roppongi Heights is like an indies film.
Yeah.
And it was just a cute project that you know, I was invited to be a part of, and I didn't know it was gonna do what it did. I always wanted to do more acting, and I thought, okay, this will be fun to do. Like, I'm not super busy, so let's. And, you know, I got to do it with like really cool people, with one of my good friends, Janique. So
okay, I was about to ask.
So we just already had chemistry, and it's actually funny because we're both actually the opposite of what our characters are. Like my character was more like panicky and like upset at things, and her character was more like, get your stuff together, right. Like, God. And like, it's actually the opposite, where I'm always telling her, like, calm down. Calm down and focus. And so that was actually pretty cute. I have like one or two voice acting credits.
Oh.
One is on a game. Was it Ubisoft, I feel like? You know, it's kind of like Just Dance.
Okay.
But it was like a hip hop version of it. I know.
Like,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
sweet move.
It was like, whoa, yeah, let's get it. Like you know, it was very much that. It was for the Wii, and
energy,
it was very much that. So
Ooh,
I sent it to my brother. Like, look, we made it. Like, finally in the game. And then I'm also on a mobile game, but I don't know like what happened to that game, or like if it was ever released. I need to figure it out, because like, when you do a lot of stuff through these agencies, they never tell you like when things have been released or anything like that. I'm in another game too. I need to figure out like when those things happened.
You have to add those credits.
Yeah, it's just like they never tell you when like stuff is being released. So, and hint, hint, wink, wink. I might be in something else pretty soon.
Okay. Follow her social media. You know, if you wanna find out, if you wanna stay in the know. Handle IG.
IG and Twitter are the same. That's Imani Jess. IMANIJESS.
Right.
So yeah, check that. I speak more on Twitter. I don't upload as much on Instagram. I know, I really should. I know everybody gets on me for that.
I mean, with the way Twitter's going,
yeah, you know,
you might have to make a pivot, but we'll see.
We'll see.
That's a topic for another day. Not only have you done games, but you did the theme song for Digimon?
Yes. I did the theme song.
Which is pretty cool. Even though it is like the arch nemesis of...
I wouldn't say arch nemesis, because they're both two completely different things.
Yes, they do have different concepts.
Different concepts and different mechanics.
Yeah.
So I was asked to translate and then sing the English translation of the Digimon card game rule song. So if you listen to my song, you can learn how to play this Digimon card game. Which was nice of them, because they gave me a whole bunch of Digimon cards. They're in English, but I have yet to find people to play with here. So, yeah, it's kind of sad. But it's actually, I asked them for some cards, because like, I need to know how to play this thing.
Right.
It's actually kind of fun to play. It's less, I don't want to say it's less complex, because they're both Pokemon and Digimon are two different card games. So,
right.
But the way that they redid
I didn't even know Digimon had a card game.
They did. They actually revamped it. So this was like a revival of it, because the old card game, I used to have old Digimon cards too, and that was actually a lot harder to play. Like you can, it was hard for me to pick up as a kid,
right.
But this new one is a lot easier to kind of pick up. So that was fun. Kind of it was very nostalgic to go back and like, you know,
be a part of your childhood.
Yeah, like
so
you
it's
like
be a part of something from your childhood.
Yeah. So that happened. I also sang like for a commercial for Pokemon Unite as well.
Really?
Yeah, like the trailer for one of that.
That's sweet.
Which I play a lot of Pokemon Unite.
And that is extremely special for her because, let's see, we got a Pokemon Water, we got Pikachu right here. We have a Pokemon mug right here. The slippers that I wear, Pokemon. If you look just behind me, this is why you have to be on Twitch or YouTube. If you look just behind me, hey, hi, welcome. If you have any questions, let me know. Think about it. But yeah, she's got all this Pokemon.
This is
stuff.
just like one side of the room.
You're right.
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
So that had to be like chef's kiss, beautiful moment of you really getting to take a part. Not in just your childhood, your existence, your life.
Yeah, like it's kind of a weeb dream almost.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider I consider myself a light otaku.
Light weeb.
Like a light weeb.
Not a full
Not
weeaboo.
a full blown weeaboo because I don't think weeaboos can exist
in
Japan because I've going to school here and seeing the weeaboos come to school here and have this image of like
shattered
to pieces. They don't even last they barely last a semester out here and they go back home. So yeah it's hard. Like weebs can visit but they can't live here.
If you're a weeb and you're considering living in Japan, just know
Japan's a real place with real issues. It's not all Gundams and geishas.
Right. I don't think I've ever seen a geisha out here. I've seen the Gundam.
You actually have to go to Kyoto for that, and they're still very like rare.
Yeah.
And please don't harass them for photos. They're really annoyed by that.
Wouldn't you be? Can you imagine? You're at home, you know, living your life, and a tourist in your country's like, oh my god, we don't have black people where I come from. Can I get a picture? Or, you know, I've never met an American before. Can I get a picture?
But that's happened so many times. I'm like, that's happened to me. So
God. Yeah, have you ever been interviewed for the they'll stop you in Shibuya. The camera. Why are you in Japan?
Yeah, why are you in Japan?
Like, something like that. Yeah.
I got stopped twice actually.
Same. Yeah.
But they've never used my footage.
Same.
I don't think I'm interesting enough for them.
Yeah.
Or it's interesting because like they stopped me the most recent time they stopped me, and then I told them who I sang for. And I don't know if they were already in the process of doing an interview with one of the members' moms. So like she had a little thing. And I was like, okay, good for you. But yeah, like I know I have friends who've been on it, but maybe I'm just not interesting enough for.
Yeah, I feel you.
Such things.
Such shows, such activities.
I'm not a Genki Gaijin because I think they want because I
have energy.
I have friends who've been on it and they want them to over exaggerate a lot of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I love Japan and my life has changed since I've been here, which is true. But not all of us have the energy that they're looking for. Not all of us have that like on 100 type. Oh my god. Energy, which is probably why they haven't used mine either, because I talk like this. I don't oh yeah, I'm really into anime, my favorite one is this and this is my favorite quote, and then, you know, who's your favorite voice actor? I'm like, whoa, I cannot give you what you're trying to get. Yeah, right.
I'll name Cree Summer all day. But
yeah, sorry guys, I'm not interesting enough. But another thing I want to ask about your singing is you've got all these credits for bands and for games and stuff like that, but you know, you be writing music, you write your own music. What was that process like? Did you release your CD out here?
Yeah, so my first album, oh god, it's been almost 10 years. Jesus Christ.
Think about it. Don't think about it.
My first album, a DJ had reached out to me because he had a whole bunch of tracks, a DJ Chica, and he needed a singer for the tracks, and so it was released through an indies label called Goon Tracks, and there's a lot of awesome artists. basically jazzy hip hop. So they really wanted me to kind of channel Lauryn Hill, which I respect her, and
right.
You know, the one album she did is amazing. Let's be real.
You have your own sound.
But it's like, you know, I have my own sound and style. So, but that first album was, you know, it was an experience. It, you know, to write under the conditions that I was in. I basically wrote it like in a month. I was just given tracks.
Stress.
And I was working, and then I was living with a boyfriend at the time, and yeah, it was a lot to write like all of those songs and like work.
Jeez.
Full time, and then
have to entertain
and then have
another
to
human being.
Yeah, just to do all that, because dating. Yeah. But it got done.
Yes.
You know, it got done, and then we did a small little tour, and it was fun.
Nice.
Some people still listen to the songs,
yeah.
and that's awesome.
People knew your music when you did your live at that underground.
Yeah, so I do that. I released an EP like 2 or 3 years ago again, I think, sometime before the plague. And then I'm working on some new stuff now, so stay tuned. Hopefully we get something going. Hopefully by May. So watch out for that.
A birthday present for you?
A birthday present for moi. Because, you know, I feel like my birthday is May 11th. And it's weird. It's weird for me to celebrate my birthday. In the sense, like, in the States, it would always fall on Mother's Day. It would fall on Mother's Day, and then in Japan, it's, like, right after Golden Week.
Right.
Or it'll still fall on Mother's Day, so it's, like, everybody spent all their money already, and, like, nobody can come out.
I'm sending you love for your birthday.
Yeah, and it's, like, no one, it's weird.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, we've had the plague. So, but next year, I actually want to hopefully do something with people.
Yeah.
And, you know, celebrate me. And we will have music to celebrate with new music, new sound, new style. Really,
style, yeah.
I'm really pushing for something new.
Okay.
So watch out for it.
What is your favorite song that you've written?
Oh God, that's like looking at my
questions.
that's like looking at my 2 babies and trying to
which
do I love more? Like I can't do that.
The one who's not gonna break the iPad.
The one who's not gonna break the iPad. And the one who steals guitar picks.
Oh.
This one. She steals guitar picks.
Sweet baby.
I guess...
You can smell, but that's it. Okay. I care, right.
I would say one of my favorite songs that I wrote was Let My Voice Be Heard. Because I actually wrote that song when I got my tonsils taken out. So I didn't have a voice to sing with. And so I had a small guitar at the time, and I like learned these chords, and I wrote the song as best as I could with no voice.
With no voice.
And yeah,
that's a true test of your understanding of music theory.
And yeah, I wrote that as I was recovering, so that was one of my favorite songs.
Okay.
And then
special meaning.
Yeah. Which is on my EP, which y'all can listen to.
What's the name of your EP?
It's called Let It Be Heard. Y'all can find it on Spotify.
And you heard it here. Okay. So you said you plucked out some tunes on the guitar. How many instruments do you play?
Girl, I play beginner everything. I play flute and guitar. I would say I'm slightly more proficient in flute because I played it in elementary school, and then I picked it back up again like a few years ago, and now we're really trying with that flute and guitar. Yeah, so I have a keyboard, but it's kind of annoying to pull out, so I think if my setup was a little different, I'd probably do it more. But no, I have a guitar, and my fur babies steal my guitar picks, so sometimes I can't play because
they just want to participate.
They just want to participate.
Yeah. Is there any reason why flute?
You know, when time came for all of us to like choose instruments, I actually really wanted to play the clarinet, but they ran out of clarinets, so they gave me a flute.
next best thing. Here
The
you
next
go.
best thing is like, here's a flute.
It makes
And I was
similar
kind of
sound.
like, but I want to, okay, fine. But you know, now that I'm older, I'm not mad at the decision. Like, it's not like it ruined me.
Right.
Like, not like me wanting to take French and then my mom clicking off Spanish.
Oh my gosh, that happened to me too.
And so that ruined me. But like, flute didn't ruin me.
Still learn French. It's never too late.
Yeah, it's never too late. So maybe that'll come after. After, I don't know. What's the next language I'm learning?
Well, are you learning a language right now?
I would like to go back to Mandarin. Because
Oh.
I did study Mandarin in college for a bit.
Oh man.
It was actually a lot. I want to
Easier
say
than you
easier.
think?
It's yeah.
Is it
the
similar
the
enough
word
to
orders?
Japanese?
No, the word order is the same as English.
Okay.
So there's that.
Right.
That's what made it a little bit
Right.
easier. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll go to Mandarin. Maybe I'll go to Korean. Who knows?
Let's throw it back real quick again to Pokemon.
Yes, the love
And
of my life.
Why?
Why not?
Why? Yeah.
Pokemon has been a part of my life since, what, 1998? 1997? 98?
Just
It
like
was
25 years old, so yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
98.
would be 90. Oh my
98,
god.
yeah.
They finally retired Pikachu
They're
and Ash.
finally retiring Satoshi and Pikachu, which
Yes.
I'm actually, I know everyone's sad, but the people that are sad haven't been watching it consistently, I feel like.
Right. He achieved his goal.
He achieved his goal. There's nothing
got
more
nothing
to
left
do.
to do. Yeah.
He's also been 10 forever. And I'd be okay with that if there wasn't like one season where like the professor he was staying with like had a whole baby, and then he came back they got married, he left, he came back, there was a whole child, and I'm like, okay, now the whole 10-year-old thing it's not working for me.
It's not adding up.
It's not adding
Literally.
up. Literally. It's not adding up. But I'm happy that we're graduating Satoshi and Pikachu, because also like give the voice actors a break. They've been doing this for 25
For
years.
so long.
For so long. It's just one of those things that you can just I can lose myself in it and be okay. You know, some people have, you know, drinking or drugs.
It is crazy how that's considered a hobby out here. What is your hobby? I
Drinking.
drink.
Like, no, ooh, girl.
That's an ism. That's not a hobby. That's not a hobby.
Pokemon is my hobby. Like, when people ask me, I say Pokemon is my
Pokemon.
hobby. It is written there because it is. Like, I like collecting
Yeah.
the merchandise. I like playing the games.
Right. It
I
can
like
be a legit hobby because there are levels to the things you can do with it.
and you know, I'm not in the streets peddling for
Right? Like,
for Monster Balls.
all right. You got any cards, man? Like,
You got some cards?
you got that shiny?
G-Max all day. Nah, like that's not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I just like
But
playing
you
it.
made
You know?
it your everything.
I made it my
which is not a
everything.
bad thing.
I mean, there's other fandoms I'm into as well. I'm into other fandoms. I have two fur children.
Other interests.
I have two fur children.
And their names.
Their names are Azula and Kuvira.
Right. And
Okay.
if you don't know any better.
If you don't know, now
Avatar,
you know.
like, right.
There
They have other personality
I have other
traits.
personality traits, but Pokemon is the biggest one.
Yeah.
It's just
Defining.
we've just been here for a minute. It's just been a part of me for a minute. So
It's like literally your whole life, you know, from the time you've been able to comprehend interesting things, it's been there.
it's been there. I've always been attracted to cute, fluffy things.
Well, most people are.
Yeah.
Unless, I don't want to say something's wrong with you, but if you don't like cute, fluffy things,
I mean,
I'm surprised.
It's
That's
surprising.
it.
It's
I'm
surprising.
surprised. Yes.
But you know, there's also like, you know, the big brawl Pokemon too, like
Right.
Bangias
There's
and all
variety,
them,
and then
so.
the scary types.
Scary, scary ones,
Yeah.
and the
When they're
inanimate
scary on the
objects, and the
inside.
inanimate
The
objects,
objects,
which
literally bags of garbage.
literally trash, literally
Literally
trash. This Pokemon is trash, literally, and it turns into bigger trash.
When you start running out of ideas, what can we do next?
What can we possibly do next? A chandelier. Okay.
Okay, see ya.
Oh God. You know, it's just a hobby though.
Yeah.
It's a fun hobby.
Yeah.
that I take pretty seriously.
You know what's not a hobby?
What's not a hobby?
That you take pretty seriously.
What?
Your veganism.
Yes,
veganism. Were you vegan when you came to Japan?
I was not vegan when I came to Japan. I will say that I grew up eating mostly chicken and fish.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. My mom and my grandma also, they didn't cook a lot of pork or beef. Mm-hmm. So I didn't start consuming a lot of it until I came to Japan, because it was a little different. But no, slowly but surely things changed for me. I would say I'm that person that if I watch a documentary, it's like, oh dang, I know better, now I gotta do better. So of course it was Super Size Me. Mm-hmm.
I stopped eating McDonald's in elementary school after they made us watch that. I was like, no.
I think I stopped for a while, then I ate like very rarely, and then in Japan, I want to say maybe it was like 7 or 8 years ago, I was like, yeah, no more McDonald's. Yeah. So I stopped fast food, and then I wasn't a big drinker to begin with, but I want to say about a year or two afterwards, I stopped drinking or like I only drank maybe like 3 times a year. Okay. 3 or 4 times a year, and then I stopped drinking, and then I knew about veganism, but I didn't know what it was really. And so when you grow up eating the same like 3 or 4 vegetables, and then you try to go vegan on a whim, you're just like stuck because you don't know what to do.
I can't eat anything.
You think you can't
salad and air.
Yeah, you can't. You think that you can't eat anything. It's just like I wasn't exposed to the different things that I could eat, or how to eat them rather, how to prepare them. And so I tried it for a week, and I was like, oh, tried it, nope. But then I was kickboxing, another hobby. I was kickboxing, and there was the chance to do an amateur fight, and I was like, oh, let me do this once to say I did it. And I needed to like lose weight on it, and it wasn't a lot of weight to lose. Now that I think about it, it wasn't like a lot. I had to be like 60 kilos. But I'd never been 60 kilos in my adult life. So I was like, well, how am I going to do this? Like, I really want to do this fight. And I was, reading up about how, like, Serena Williams, the thickest, greatest athlete of all time, like, she's mostly plant-based. And then I saw What the Health. And then I was like, then I was like, oh, let me try and do this for like a month and a half for my fight, see if I actually feel better. And then it was like, if I feel better, and then maybe I'll just go back to fish or something. So I did that for about a month and a half, and as I'm looking up more recipes and looking up other things
you can do,
other things I could do, reading more information, feeling better, I had horrible phlegm. Post-nasal drip.
What, like dairy?
From dairy. And as soon as that was gone, your girl could breathe through both nostrils. What is this? What? You're telling me that you mean my diet? Like, all I had to do was just not have cow pus and I could breathe? Girl. Jeez. And I was hitting higher notes. Like, my register change. Like, come on now. So... after the fight, I said, I think I'm good. I'm gonna stick with this because I'm feeling good, and it wasn't hard to lose the weight, and I can breathe. So this is
I feel like stuff. That's a big pro. Like, that's kind of a big deal.
Breathing's great, skin clear, good stuff.
How long have you been vegan?
Oh God, I want to say that was. It's been 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
Like 5 or 6, it's hard when there's a plague going on. So it skews my whole.
Do some years count
of what happened?
Yeah.
I would say it's about 6 years now. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you eat? In Japan? You're vegan in Japan?
Eat
what do you
ice cubes and edamame.
I tell people I'm on the Namekian diet, water and meditation.
Oh no, girl.
That is all that I eat. I'm Piccolo in human form. There's nothing for me here.
I'll say this right now. I don't like cooking. I don't. I am lazy. And even before I went vegan, I didn't like the idea of cleaning meat. I would eat it out. I would go out to eat.
Because it's prepared.
Because it's already prepared. I didn't like doing that. So at home already, I was default like octo-lacto vegetarian. Because that was easier to do.
What does that mean?
Oh, eggs and dairy. Because nobody wants to clean meat. And I was really lazy. And even now, I'm still very, very, very lazy in chopping my vegetables. I do try to pick like one day and one podcast to chop vegetables
right. Okay.
And just pre-chop everything.
Right.
But at home I'll just have like my staple of like I'll make a hummus and I'll have some pre-chopped vegetables and I have some soy meat that I prepare, and then I'll sometimes make a curry of some sort, or I'll do like a pasta. And then if people come over, I will make my vegan mac and cheese.
Ooh. Oh, come on.
Okay. I'll make.
I will buy ingredients if you do that.
I actually have all the ingredients.
I should have said we should have cooked.
I asked you if you.
I asked what you had, and you said stuff.
I said I had.
You didn't
stuff.
say mac and cheese.
I do. I have all the things.
Next
time. And then, yeah, that's what I make. But I actually go out a lot.
Yeah.
And you can be vegan on a budget.
Yes.
But I'm lazy, so I will pay for that labor. I'll do it all day.
I will outsource labor. Thank you.
I will. So.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I do love to cook, but I didn't today because recent life tragedies. I was just like, I just don't want to do it. I just don't feel like it today. But if you had said mac and cheese, I would have been like, yeah, let's go cook. Let's do that. I have Tupperware. I would have just took some home. Oh man. So, for people who, and obviously you don't have to be vegan to listen to this or watch this, but if you're interested, what places would you recommend? We'll say again top 3. Like, what top 3 places would you recommend in Tokyo specifically?
Jeez. Great Lakes is really good. I think out of all the burger places we have, Great Lakes is probably one of the best.
It's my favorite, yeah.
When I first went vegan, a lot of these places had bean burgers. They were seasoned, but they would fall. I don't like it when it falls apart. But Great Lakes is just so.
It's always been like that?
No. But Great Lakes, they have a nice texture. It's amazing. So for a burger, I definitely recommend Great Lakes. It's near Waseda. It's like by Waseda.
Takada no Baba Station.
Takada no Baba.
Yeah, I think Nishi Waseda Station.
Yeah, Nishi Waseda. And then I was at Tea's like yesterday. I was at Tea's Tantans yesterday.
They do ramen?
So I was at the Tokyo Station one, and I went and I got their ramen. So you can't go wrong with their ramen. Yeah. I've tried other places' ramens.
Hit or miss. Have you been to the one in Shibuya Station, the Ippudo?
No, actually,
most of the ramen is vegan. They only have, it's like reverse. They've got like 2 non-vegan options, and the rest are vegan. Yeah.
I haven't been to that one yet.
Yes.
Okay.
I like their ramen. I like it there.
So we'll be going there next, and then what is that place? Oh man, Ansof used to have a really good.
I've never been there.
You've never been to Ansof before?
No.
Okay.
People keep telling me I need to go. I just have never gone.
There's one in Kyoto. I know we're talking about Tokyo restaurants,
right.
but there's one in Kyoto that had this amazing like matcha pancakes. Whew, Chile, them pancakes, girl.
Go to Kyoto just for
those
pancakes.
They're gente, like they're limited edition pancakes. But Anso, they have good pancakes, so I would definitely say them. And Shiro Cafe also has good pancakes too. That's in Jugaoka.
Okay.
No, it's in Jugaoka. I named like a lot of restaurants just now.
But that's fine. That's fine. That's what we want. We want variety. We want people to know there is variety. Actually, you named 3. You did Einstoff, you did Great Lakes, and you did T's. So you hit the mark. You did exactly what you were supposed. You understood the assignment. If someone, and it doesn't have to be, if someone was interested in moving to Japan, what advice would you give them? And I know it's been a minute since you moved here, but you've got experience, so what tips or advice would you give them?
Save all of your money. All of it. Okay, save all the money, because you don't get a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks.
Yes,
that paycheck comes once a month. And
figure out what that rent is gonna be.
Yeah.
Don't come with a $500 rent and then you end up in a $750 apartment.
And just be aware that if you're coming to Tokyo specifically, things are small here, so don't expect a huge place,
a lot of space,
unless you want to be further out.
A Western apartment, you're gonna have to be countryside.
Unless you're into that.
Right.
Trains are pretty convenient, so.
Yeah. That is true. That is one of the true things about Japan.
Yeah.
You're not gonna feel except unless it's Chuo line.
Unless it's Chuo line, then, you're kind of screwed either
that's
way.
The only train line that's not efficient a lot of the time. But all the rest of the train lines, yes, they're good.
What else? I would say definitely learn the language, because I do know people, at least a little bit, because I do know people who've lived here for years.
Yeah.
Who've lived here for at least over 2 decades. You
can think one person in common.
Yeah. And they don't speak a lick of Japanese.
Which is wild.
Which is wild. You want to at least be able to order your food and give directions home.
Right.
And
where's the bathroom? You gotta hit that where's the bathroom in every language.
And learning Japanese is very important, I feel like. If you want a smoother transition, definitely do that.
Don't worry too much about the reading and the writing at first, because it's a whole different, it's a 3 separate alphabet systems, 3 separate character systems. So just focus on getting the sound and speaking, and then writing will come later. Or not even writing, reading will come later.
I mean, to each their own. Everybody's gonna have their different system, but as long as you try, I think people really appreciate that you're trying. No matter what order it comes in, if you want to read first or write first, but some knowledge of the language, because even my reading right now sucks. I haven't written in forever, so all I can write is my address at this point.
Oh, okay, at least you got that. I always ask them, can I write it in English? Romaji, can I write my address in English?
Oh, that's another thing. Do not learn Japanese with Romaji. Don't learn with Romaji. Learn at least hiragana first.
Yeah.
Because learning in Romaji is it's a crutch.
Yeah.
I do not recommend it.
Yeah. Duolingo, that's what I'm using right now. And I can read some kanji. I can read hiragana, katakana. I'm not confident. I feel like I'm confident in writing hiragana mostly. But don't ever ask me to write kanji. Don't ever ask me to do
when
that.
I was studying kanji was, I think I used to draw and stuff. It was kind of fun to draw, to write. To write it. I wouldn't remember it, but it was fun to write. I don't know how to say this, but it looks cool.
Right?
So
it's cute. I can hang it up. That is something I try to do in not say sodane, but is teach a Japanese word or two in the podcast. So let's do that now, since we're talking about Japanese language learning.
Oh god.
The 2 words that popped out to me today to teach are countryside and nostalgic. I don't know why those were the words that I was like, yes, that's
countryside. Inaka.
Yes, inaka is countryside. So, and you will hear people throw out inaka when they're talking about the countryside. Anywhere outside of Tokyo,
anywhere outside of a city is
inaka.
And to me, when we go up to Saitama and they're like, oh man, this is Inaka, I'm like, you still have a train that comes every 10 minutes?
Right.
No, this is not Inaka.
Right.
That is,
calm down.
Like, I am from Inaka, okay?
Right.
Like, there's bears in my backyard.
Oh, you mean like in New York?
In New York.
Yeah,
in New York, there's bears in my backyard.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Like,
Inaka.
If you want to go to, I don't know, I feel like Takao area.
Mm-hmm.
That's Inaka.
Or like Gifu or something.
Yeah. So like there's stuff to do, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not Tokyo. It's not Osaka.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Inaka, Inaka is countryside. Ooh, I have to send my godson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sending him a Japanese word every day. And then nostalgic.
Natsukashi.
Natsukashi. Do you know what kashi means? I know Natsu is summer, but...
Ooh, girl, I have to look at it. I don't know.
So, Natsukashi.
You better
I'm
than
like
me.
sounding it out in my head as a Natsukashi. Yeah, that means nostalgic. Like the Pokemon or Digimon or, you know,
Any
Temple University.
any Don Bluth movie.
Oh gosh.
That's Natsukashi.
Yes. So those are our Japanese words of the day. We'll wrap it up and put a bow on it like it's a Christmas present.
Ew.
Thank you for allowing me to do this with you.
Oh, no
And
problem. It was a
I know
pleasure.
you're a busy gal, so even having the time, I really appreciate. Once again, we'll restate Imani J, Instagram and Twitter, Imani Jess, which I'll put links and spellings and everything. And if you want to follow me, then I'm Black Vegan Travels everywhere. If you're watching on Twitch, please follow, subscribe, whatever. There's going to be more of these types of videos. I do YouTube. But yes, thank you for joining this new segment of How Did You Get Here? It was a wonderful ride of music and Pokemon and just talent. Yeah, support your girl. Hit up Spotify.
Yep.
Hit up iTunes. And eat well and travel often.
Okay.
That's how we ended out. Eat well and travel often. And we'll see you in the next one. We'll talk to you in the next one. But bye. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
I hope you had fun. I know I did.